Meeting the Board of Supervisors to order.
I'd like to call to order the meeting of the King George County Service Authority Board of Directors.
Thank you. Do you want to spend?
And tonight, Ms. Kathy Bender, King Supervisors, is going to be participating remotely due to an illness.
We're going to stand for invocation led by Director Robotham, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
We thank you for bringing us all here today, for gathering us to support the county business. Lord, we hope you give us your wisdom, lead this county, do what's right, so this together. Thank you, Lord, in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
Presentation, Mary Washington Healthcare Impact Trauma Award, TQ 2025. And Chief Moody had some words he wanted to speak before that.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. I just want to take a few minutes to thank you publicly for allowing us to put this special award recognition. A few weeks ago, the team from Mary Washington Trauma Services Unit reached out to me and highlighting a medical incident that we had back in May, particularly May 5th of this year. This is a pretty unique case because it highlights um, kind of what happens when all the team comes together. And we actually have with us tonight, we got many deputy sheriffs, many firefighters and paramedics out here in the lobby. If we brought them all in at one time, we'd probably be over capacity. But it highlights when we have a school bus driver, when we have the deputy sheriffs, and we have our fire rescue team that all get on scene in a very quick time and take immediate action. Tonight, we have a special guest, and that is the resident, the patient that was in cardiac arrest when he just went on a normal day for a run down the road, and like he's done probably thousands of times before. But I wanted to give a warm welcome and introduction to who's going to be presenting the award, and that is our team from Mary Washington Healthcare and the Impact Trauma Award. So, without further ado, Miss Courtney. Yep. Yes. Right. Yep.
Hello, thank you guys very much for having us. We are truly honored to be here today. So this is our second quarter impact award, so it acknowledges trauma excellence. So I'm just going to read a little brief synopsis of why they are receiving this award. So on May 5th, 2025, a 51-year-old male was out for his morning run when he suffered a life-changing emergency and collapsed in the roadway. Thankfully, a very observant King George County school bus driver noticed the patient running. While driving a morning school pickup route, the runner lying on the ground unresponsive. The bus driver made immediate radio contact with dispatch and emergency responders who were promptly sent to the scene. King George Sheriff's Department deputies were first to arrive on scene, and they immediately assessed the situation, applied an AED, and initiated high-quality CPR. Upon the arrival of King George Medic Unit 1, the patient was reassessed by EMS and found to have regained a pulse. The team continued to perform life-saving interventions to include effective airway management and adequate oxygenation for the patient while he remained unconscious. During transport, a trauma alert was provided to Mary Washington Hospital ED to prepare the trauma team for their arrival due to the unknown circumstances of the patient's collapse, with abrasions to the patient's face and the consideration that this was potentially a traumatic event. His condition was stabilized further in the Mary Washington Hospital Trauma Bay. A traumatic event was ruled out, and subsequent evaluation revealed the patient had suffered a heart-related event. Even though this patient was ultimately ruled out as a trauma patient, this was unknown at the time of the call, and the management by the EMS team with trauma considerations was impeccable. Due to the fast reaction responses and excellent care provided by everyone involved in the coordinated emergency management of this patient, he is alive and well today. And like Chief Moody said, he's here with us. This team exemplifies the characteristics of an effective team and has earned the distinguished honor of receiving the 2025 Second Quarter Trauma Impact Award in recognition of their exemplary service and outstanding care of this patient. So let's give them a round of applause. Individually by your names, whether you like it or not. And we have some tokens for you. Okay.
Kristen Alton. Michael McNeil. Not here. Okay. Zachary Dove. Mariano Akaza. Jordan Jackson. Diana Ashton. How do you say? Tiana. Zeb Johnson. Thank you. Our distinguished bus driver, Shanice Avaler.
Supervisors hereby proclaim August 19, 2025 as First Responders Day in King George County, in an effort to recognize and celebrate the county's first responders and encourage all citizens to take time out of their day and show first responders and their families how much they are valued and for their service to our community. Adopted this 19th day of August, 2025. Say something. So we have a pretty packed agenda tonight, so I'm just going to go ahead and take care of something. I make a motion that we extend the meeting tonight until midnight.
Second.
Motion properly second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Doesn't mean we have to go that long. I don't want to. I'm just saying it's going to happen.
Aye.
Thank you. Ms. Bender? Sounds like this is, any other amendments to the agenda?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Right ahead.
In accordance with the rules of procedure for the King George County Board of Supervisors, the agenda for the regular meeting scheduled for Tuesday, August 19th, 2025 requires the following amendments. Addition of Resolution R-13-2025, National Opioid Settlement with Purdue Pharma, to be presented by the interim county attorney. Number two, addition of Resolution R-15-2025, appointment of animal control officer and two deputy animal control officers, to be presented by the sheriff of King George County. And item number three, removal of action item 08-15, Daisy Lane Solar Application Z-2024-00219, Davis Hill Development. This item is removed from the agenda at the request of the applicant, Davis Hill Development, who has formally requested a deferment. These adjustments ensure that the board's agenda reflects current business needs and pending actions requiring board consideration. A revised agenda has been prepared and entered into the official record.
Second. Second discussion. Sorry, motion passed. Chance to speak, state your full name, the district in which you vote, so it could probably count it in the public record. Next up, I have Ms. Avery.
Going to be a separate public hearing for people to make comments when the,
See the list of public hearing. Did we get a list for the public hearing? Speak. public comment session, okay? Stand
My name is Anna Maria. I live in Presidential Lakes. Tonight, I want to thank you for your service. I know this job is very hard, but you are doing a great job. And as long as you keep paying on the debt and fixing or replacing things that they needed to be fixed. Also, avoid having to pay more fines. I went last night to a public meeting about the Exodus Family Institute. It's asking for King George County support and asking for a grant from the Virginia Department of Housing and Community Development for a feasibility study for 21 houses for essential workers for King George, such as teachers, first responders, and healthcare workers. I want to know who will make a profit from this project and what guarantees will there be that is only for teachers and first responders and healthcare workers, or is going to be another project fake? I want to ask you, I want to ask, no, I want to ask you to think carefully about the data centers that they want to build in our county. Caroline and Stafford County are very concerned about the Rappahannock River. Many residents that live near the river are worried and oppose the data centers. They say that the river is in their backyard. They don't want the data centers. People in Stafford County think the data centers don't belong on agricultural land near to the Rappahannock River. One of the residents and Stafford say that in 15 or 20 years, there is good chance that the data centers might be abandoned for newer technology, and we will have lost the view along the river forever. Also, Virginia is the state with the most data centers. Also, they are talking in TV about Northern Virginia being predicted to have increase in cost of water and electricity in the near future. I think it's because the data centers. Thank you.
Thank you. Listen.
Good evening, Aaron Eliason, James Madison District. Last week, I attended the King George County Planning Commission meeting, and my purpose was to express concerns about the many applications to withdraw water from the Rappahannock in very large quantities, especially the huge amounts for cooling proposed data centers in Stafford, Spotsy, Western counties, and including our own county. One member of the Planning Commission reassured me that no data centers in King George would use water for cooling and that other technologies for cooling would be required. A second member echoed that statement, going further to tell me that this prohibition to use water for cooling was in writing. I was very happy to hear their support of the Rappahannock and its preservation of its water supply, but unfortunately, I've been unable to find a written policy or regulation ruling out the use of water for cooling of the data centers. Thank you.
Thank you, Aaron. Colleen Davis.
Good evening, Board. I'm here to discuss, or I'm here to address my concern about the county talking about raising meal taxes on small businesses. I'm going to ask you to consider a solution, and then I'll tell you why that I come before you guys to ask this. My solution would be if we're going to raise meals taxes, I'm not against meals tax, even for small businesses, but maybe offer a tiered approach because right now I pay the same as Sheetz and McDonald's and all these multi-million-dollar businesses. I pay the same rate they do, and I don't have the traffic that they do here in King George. So here's why I'm asking. Here's what I deal with the taxes, because I've heard a few of the county leaders say that, well, you don't pay it, the customer does. It's kind of a double-edged sword though, because in one sales transaction, I have a 6% sales tax or 5.3, 4% meal tax, plus I have a 3.5% processing fee, plus 30 cents per transaction if credit card is used, which is 70% of my income is through credit card transactions. So it eats at my profit. I can only raise my coffee prices, but so much. Right now, my meals tax per coffee is about 58 cents. if you raise that even close to $1, now they're going to be paying $7, $8 for a coffee that they can go to She's and drive through and get. I mean, I sell my smile and I do my best to make it invited in galleys, but it is hard, especially with prices right now already. I'm trying to compete with that, the prices that are going up. And then on top of it, the county wanting to raise meal taxes on my small business. This is just a small fraction of the taxes I pay. I pay a litter tax, a property tax, payroll tax, unemployment tax, quarterly taxes, license renewal fees, gross sale tax at the end of the year, zoning renewal fees. And there's a lot more. Like, we're taxed out the wazoo, and I get it. It's a business, and you know this when you're going into it, but really you don't, because nobody really teaches you that. You have to pay for that information. So, and I understand that some of these are state, but it still affects my small business. I don't bring a lot of revenue to King George in the form of money, but my value is that I provide a place for our King George folks and surrounding counties to come to and sit and socialize. I also provide employment for high schoolers and those who've graduated from high school. 8 young people that I have brought in homeschool out of the school to teach them, how to run a business. I allow them to be a part of that with me, to like come together and learn what that's like. So let me get back on track. Adding more taxes to your small town mom and pops does not feel like you truly want small businesses. I've been open for 3.5 years now, and I'm committed. It would be a fresh of breath air if I could honestly say that King George supports small businesses. And I'm not talking about individual support, I'm talking about county support. I would like you to ask this question: what does King George do to support small businesses? Lastly, can we please, this has nothing to do with our commissioner, because she's been very kind to me with and trying to help me ways to keep up with them. But yeah, so I'll come back next board meeting.
Ms. Davis. James Shaw.
James Shaw, James Monroe District, columnist for the Northern Neck Sentinel, citizen journalist, kgmedia.top, speaking in my capacity as EDA member. Old hat, and the first time they've been the same back to back. Futurist. Someone has to do it. Someone has to warn, like the watchman, of what may be coming. Someone has to have the guts to be, or perhaps be stupid enough to bring up the elephant or gorilla in the room. I'm talking about the comprehensive plan. The comprehensive plan for the county is on the cusp of its periodic scheduled revision. Judging from what we have seen in Community Development, Planning Commission, and Board of Supervisors of late, a potential avalanche of controversy is likely on the horizon. There are going to be many eyes looking to steer that process in a beneficial direction the land vultures are circling. A little tweak here or there, and some select landowners win the land investment lottery. Perhaps it is time for citizens to start looking up who donated how much to whom in previous election cycles. We don't need cronyism slipping into the process. The solution is, of course, for you as a board to continue your upfront transparency. Everyone should publicly know in advance who may possibly benefit from any changes, plus or minus. God bless the King George Renaissance, where your transparency helps keep things fair and honest. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that'd like to speak?
Kim Dodge, James Madison District. I'm here to talk about the water bill. Somebody is claiming, it's gonna redo the water bill and it's gonna be computerized and they want us to pay online. I always get every bill mailed to me in paper form, and I actually pay them by check, and I would like to continue doing that. And I don't think we need to change it to every month. We need to lower the wastewater debit service fee and the water debit service fee. Let's roll some of those prices back. I'm assuming with the wording of it, that we're paying that huge debt in the past. I didn't create that debt. And yes, our water bills are huge. And let's lower our prices and keep the 2-month billing. A lot of times companies do go from the 2-month billing to the month billing, and then you'll find out they're charging you even more money because now it's a lower amount to the consumer and those rates will go up. It's just like when I talk about property taxes here in King George. I talk every year. Usually I missed this year. Do not raise our property taxes. Most of us are struggling financially. We can't afford to pay these property taxes. You all need to be responsible financially. And if we don't have the money as the county, then we don't supply it. We find other ways to do things. You can't keep taxing us to death. And just like with the small business owners, you can't be doing that. We don't make it more money every year. And we're going backwards financially. So I propose we still have every 2 months, let's roll back some prices on this debt and pay it and make it pay off longer. Thank you.
Hastings, James Madison District. In your quest to operate the throttle and brake on development here in the county and the ZOTAC findings, I came across a couple of tools in the Code of Virginia that I've not heard any discussion on and would like to bring them to your attention. One thing that was not mentioned was agricultural and forest districts, which have a 4 to 10 year lifespan. And also, there's something called a tax increment financing fund. It's found in the Code of Virginia at 58.1 3245.2. Both of those may be worth a look. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Super 17, 2025, should be to the 20-minute discussion, of illegal signage and right of ways in King George County. It's the resolution, but it seems there was not a resolve, and the board just moved the discussion along to other topics. I've listened several times and I've failed to hear any resolve. Maybe there wasn't a volunteer with VDOT since the early 1980s. We have volunteered for 2 months stretch along Lambs Creek Church Road, 694. Needless to say, we collected hundreds of orange bags of trash. A couple of things regarding illegal signs. Many of the said signs have phone numbers. Just a suggestion here, maybe the public officials could give those folks a friendly call. Remember, it's illegal to put the non-permitted signs in. It's helped in the past to lessen the illegal signage problem. Please. Right. So, call time out. All right, let me know. So we're at a pause. Sully?
Yes. Yes. Next. Thank you. Yes. Okay, so stop then.
Probably try from the beginning of that letter again.
Did you read that letter again? Thank you, ma'am.
So the emails from Ms. Brenda Henson, James Madison District, King George Board of Supervisors meeting on June 17, 2025. The Board of Supervisors had a 20-minute discussion about illegal signage in the right-of-ways in King George County. I may have missed the resolution, but it seems it was not resolved and the board just moved the discussion along to other topics. I have listened to the meeting several times and have failed to hear any resolve. Maybe there was none. I've been a volunteer with VDOT's adoptive highway since early 1980s. We have volunteered for 2 months stretch along that Creek Church Road, 604. Notice the same of so things are going to build signs and said signs have phone numbers. Just a suggestion here, maybe the park officials could give those folks a friendly call reminding them it is illegal to put the non-permitted signs in the right of way. That kind of proactive measure has helped in the past to lessen the illegal signage problem.
Thank you. Correspondence? What is comment at this time? And we'll move on to reports of the members of the board. So, and timed out again.